Good morning, Acadiana. Dave Schultz with episode number 10 of the Schultzy cast. I have figured out, doing this for, I guess, 2 weeks now. It's tough getting up at 5 a.m. and working out before the show, getting in a shower, and then I'm going to work out again. So I've decided not to do that today, although no one's seeing that right now. So no Orange Theory today, going to Mississippi. If I went to Orange Theory, I guess I could have gone to the 8 o'clock class, but I didn't want to weight lift over there. I can weight lift on my own, which is what I did. And then after this, I can hop on the bike. There's a big allocation day tomorrow outside of Jackson, Mississippi, but they're having some sort of event. Bruzel, TJ and his wife, Jill, and Will, I guess, are having an event over there at Cathead, which makes Old Soul. So we're going over there today, and it starts at 5. So if I went to the Orange Theory class I'd like to go, I'd get there late. So we're leaving around noon. We got work to do this morning before I leave. There we go. Thanks for tuning in. I worked out this morning. It is, and we're getting the effect of that. It was a good workout. Actually, shocker. They tell you to warm up beforehand. So now I'm doing 10 minutes of ab work, and that's how I get the sweat going. So we had a good workout today. All right, lots to talk about. I forgot putting the Cajuns baseball in the drop down, and we got to work on. I need thumbnails and I need some graphics. So still plenty of work to do. It is a work in progress. Although we are on Apple and Spotify, so you please subscribe over there and continue to pass along that we are on YouTube. All right, so we'll start off with the LSU Tigers. They get a kind of a sigh of relief win yesterday. Looked like it was going to be much easier than it was, but they do hang on for a 10-6 victory. Herring was very good. Where's my box score? All right. He was absolutely outstanding. The ninth inning not withstanding, right? This game was a 9-0 ball game, and then quickly it became a 9-4 game, and then a 9-6 game, and a foul ball went the Tigers' way. That would have made it 9-7 with 2 runners on. But after the foul ball and the walk to actually load the bases, Vandy did not threaten again until the crazy 9th inning, a walk, and then a wild pitch on a strikeout. I guess there was another wild pitch in there, so I guess it was runners on a first and third. But because of another unearned run in the 8th inning, LSU had a comfortable 10-6 lead. All right, this is one of those deals where they get the win to begin with. Let's see where LSU moved up. They went up, I think they were 38 when the day started, maybe 39. They went up to 34 on Warren Nolan. But I don't think this is something that they've done. Have they won the first game of a series yet? They did beat Florida. So they beat Florida, but they lost to Mississippi State and ended up losing that series. They did beat Florida, but lost the next 2 ball games. We know they got swept by Arkansas. So this is only the second series that they've won. The opening game. And like Jay Johnson said, once they took advantage, once they got the error, once Vanderbilt threw away what looked to be a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play ball, then they took advantage. Okay. But if you turn it around, all right, if I sat here, and they're probably doing in Nashville, well, Vanderbilt only lost because of the errors. Well, LSU had all those base hits. You didn't have to give up all those base hits afterwards. If this was the other way, if this was Vanderbilt winning 10-6 based on the way that game was played, LSU fans would be saying, well, we just gave the game away. We just handed them the ball game. They're not that good, right? If we don't make that error, they get we get the game. Well, yeah, right? But the error is not LSU's fault. They take full advantage of it, a couple of them, and they win the game 10-6. See if they can, calm down and win this, because it is a huge series for them to right the ship. They win. Forget sweeping. I'm not worried about the sweeping part, right? Also, it's one thing that the Cajuns don't have a Sunday starter. Are we back to that again? How does LSU not have a Sunday starter? Is this injuries? Because I'll be the first to tell you, that has not been my priority to watch LSU baseball. We're getting into it now, doing the show. But I haven't watched that whole lot of LSU baseball outside of if they're winning or losing. But all of a sudden, once again, they don't have a Sunday starter. We're TBA, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, TBA again? Come on. You know, for as long as I've been here, that's basically been the case. Although it would have been in 17 if they had this Sunday. If their starter didn't get hurt, they would have won. I think they would have beaten Florida. But they all of a sudden have a Sunday starter last year, and goodness gracious, they win a championship, or at least have enough to get through the postseason. But once again, they just don't have a Sunday starter. It's hard to explain. So when the Cajuns have issues with that, and we'll see how much Carson Fluno goes this weekend, that seems to be a issue for LSU. We'll see. But Herring, I presume Herring's done for the weekend. So great job by him. Again, the ninth inning notwithstanding. And that's just, again, right, we can unclutch the butt cheeks, right? Right, because everyone was a little bit tight. Can you imagine if they lost that ball game? Can you imagine if they lost a ball game where they led 9-0? Right? I mean, Jay Johnson's taken away the cell phones. He may take away the post-game meal. Right? Food is not helping us get better. So that's something that they can build upon. And yet still, coach is always looking for something to, we're not as good as we think we are, and we're not as bad as some people think. Well, it was a great win, and it's a good job by them, but obviously need to clean up some things. We did have another error. Where did that Braswell had his 9th error. I mean, right through the wickets. So there are things to clean up if you are LSU. Gauge jump going for the Tigers today for a chance to win the series. All right, thanks for tuning into the Schultzcast. I think I did ask for help yesterday about, again, it's too much to say, the Schultzcast, Acadiana's only local morning drive sports talk show. So I'm going to kind of rip off what my other station was, right? It was Acadiana Sports Station. We're calling this the Schultzcast, Acadiana Sports Show, because that's what we are. That's what we're going to do. I think that's easy. All right. I got some help from people, but I think that's a ding, 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 ding. So Schultzcast, Acadiana Sports Show. All right. Meanwhile, the other news for the Cajuns basketball team, Joe Charles transferring to McNeese. Now, if it's on Twitter, it must be true, but a couple things happened. Apparently, people were going after Joe for taking the money, which I wouldn't care about, right? If you got an NIL deal to go somewhere, go get your money. All right? I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. Some other people came on there and said he had offers to Ole Miss and Alabama, which is okay. And you're still going to McNeese? All right, so that's a decision. But obviously, Cajuns fans are looking at it from our point of view. You would go to a lesser place than what the Cajuns are. Well, we got a whole mess going on over here with the fan base against the Rebounders Club and against Bob Marlin. I showed up, right after they won the Sun Belt and lost to Tennessee. I showed up like 2 weeks later. I don't remember anyone clamoring for Bob Marlin to lose his job back then. I keep on looking for all these people who were talking about they need to fire Bob Marlin. I don't remember anyone saying, winning the Sun Belt Championship was nice, but we need to move on. Thanks for your time here, Bob. It should probably also be noted, and it's very different these days, so maybe that's the way LSU gets away with it, right? Usually these coaches like a Bill Self or John Calipari, and maybe Calipari not the best example now, they have these rollover 5-year deals. They always have a 5-year deal. Well, you don't really need that in college basketball anymore because, A, it doesn't take 5 years to build a program. You can build it in 1, as Will Wade showed, certainly 2, and it changes every year now anyways, right? The team is new almost every year, whether you're the Cajuns, LSU, my Orange, wherever. So I don't know if you need the 5-year deal. So Bob basically, if you want to say got a 4-year deal, he got a 3-year extension. So he had 1 more year left on his contract. And then he got a 3-year extension. I will say there was something going on with the whole, well, it needs to be approved by the board. Really? I don't know if I believe that. I mean, it probably does, right? So there is something to that. But these boards approve these contracts really fast, right? I don't know if USC's got a board, but they approved the Eric Musselman contract. All right. Whoever gets that Arkansas job is going to get approved really fast. So when they're negotiating and there's I don't know if there's a big announcement at all. I don't know if has there been an announcement? I'm going to go back and check. But, I had Dr. Brian Maggard on the radio, and, it was June, July, August, well, we're working on it. It has to get in front of the board. Well, okay. Well, how do you hired Mike Decimo over the weekend, right? Like, Billy Napier was leaving and Mike Decimo was getting the job. Did that go in front of the board? So, that happened fast. So I'm not sure the whole process when it comes to that. Nonetheless, it is a tough break for the Cajuns. Joe Charles is a really versatile player. Can score, can rebound. More importantly than scoring, rebounds, defense, steals, blocks. Right? What he does on the offensive side does not affect him on the defensive side. That is not like a lot of players these days. The only issue is he's not nearly as consistent as, I would like him. He would like him. Probably his coaches would like him, right? One night he can score, 16 or 20, and then the next day he's getting 4, right? He almost averaged a double-double. He had like 10 points or 11 points and 9 rebounds, which is really good. But you want him to be a little bit more consistent offensively. Now, when he went into the portal, I did not think he was leaving. Be the first to tell you, I did not think he was leaving. I thought he was coming back. But let's see what's out there. But this is kind of where I thought he would end up if he was going to go somewhere. Like, I didn't think he was going to LSU. I thought maybe Nichols or McNeese. Now, what is the explanation for McNeese? Maybe he comes out and says, I wanted to play for Will Wade. All right. Now, McNeese has just proven they have a much easier path to the NCAA tournament than the Cajuns do. All right. The Southland tournament last year, or this past season, and next season is, guess where? Lake Charles. All right. And like the Sun Belt used to be, if you get the double bye or whatever McNeese gets now, had to play 2 ball games to win. That's it. That's the way the Sun Belt used to be. That's the way the Southland is now. So the path to the NCAA tournament, I forget easier, is relatively easy for McNeese. All right. Now it'll be interesting to see, yesterday Eric Musselman did go to Arkansas, went from Arkansas to USC. Still not understanding that move, but okay. And they're talking about Chris Beard coming from Ole Miss, getting hired to Arkansas. We'll see. Will Wade has come out, and this was Wednesday while all this Eric Musselman stuff was kind of floating out there, that he was coming back. We'll see if it's Will Wade. Reports were it's heading towards Chris Beard, but that leaves Ole Miss open. Does Will Wade go to Ole Miss? So here's the note. What should be noted is that Joe Charles committed to McNeese, but it's not in writing commitment, right? He's still here on campus. He's still going to school here on campus. I mean, even I would presume, I don't want to assume, but I would presume that even Themis Folks, although didn't attend the banquet, right? If the finishing the college part of things is important to you, he's got to be here so he can transfer as many credits as possible. And that's what Joe Charles is going to do, right? You got to finish up the semester. You don't want to, it's April. You got a month left. You don't want to throw that away, all that work down the tubes just to start again and have another half a year in school. So he's still here. So if Will Wade does go to Ole Miss or Arkansas, A, does he take Joe Charles with him? I don't know. And B, Joe Charles can, decommit, right? You only signed one NIL, one national letter of intent. That's it. The transferring thing is worth the tweet that it's printed on, so to speak. So disappointing for the Cajuns. I'm sure Kobe Julian is next. Again, I would love to see all these Cajuns fans that are hammering Bob Marlin, and I'll tell you, I like Bob. I know this year was not, I think this year went as expected, to be honest with you. In fact, at times it was much better than expected, to be straight. I'd love to see all of the tweets from last March. Thanks for coming, Bob, but it's time to move on. Appreciate the Sun Belt Championship. Appreciate the trip to the NCAAs. No one suggested that he should be fired. I didn't see that at all. I did not see that at all. So I've checked the people who are complaining. I go back and do an advanced Twitter search. No one has said, thanks for your time. We're going to move on. All right. That doesn't happen very often. right? Can we think of some place that's happened? I mean, Marshall's different because Marshall had one good year, didn't make the NCAA tournament, and then they had, a couple bad years surrounding that, so they got rid of Dan D'Antoni. Also, he's in his 70s. I thought the one place in the NFL that it might happen was Jared Goff, to be honest with you. Jared Goff was the one time, and we're still waiting for that quarterback situation to happen. I guess it could happen with Tua, where thanks for coming, we're moving on. And maybe just let him go. I mean, you don't even have to trade him, right? You pay him for 5 years, and maybe you don't get anything for him, but you got all his play, and you paid for him to play. I just thought that what Sean McVay was doing, he could do better than Jared Goff, but they paid him. It didn't matter. No, they paid him. I thought they went to the Super Bowl, didn't play well in the Super Bowl, and then they paid him anyways. So now it's all worked out for Jared Goff, right? He's going to get another nice contract from the Lions. But I thought Jared Goff would be somewhere along the way. You're going to get a quarterback that says, thanks for coming. By the way, I do have a question. I need to hear this from the NFL draft people. I need to look into this if this is feasible. So if you get a first round pick, right, you get a 4-year deal and a 5th-year option. Is that always with the team? Because that's where Caleb Williams might have a little bit of negotiation, right? Because you get paid, first, second, third, 4th year, and you get a big bump on your 5th year, but you're getting nowhere near what the franchise tag is. Nowhere near that. Now, if Caleb Williams is who everybody thinks he's going to be, he's going to get an extension after his 3rd year. But if I'm Caleb Williams, I go, okay, Chicago, I'll come there. I only want a 4-year deal. I don't want you picking up the 5th-year option. That's what I would do if I was Caleb Williams. Now, I don't know if he can do that. That's the thing. It seems to be always with the team. But that's the way, Kamara and a Michael Thomas got paid before a Lattimore did because they were not first-round picks. So I'm interested to find that out. I'm going to see if I can find that out. If Caleb Williams go to the Bears and say, hey, I'm all in, but I don't want that 5th year. If you want me to the 5th year, you're going to have to franchise tag me. Now, I'm sure he thinks this. The Bears think this. You come in here and crush it, we're going to extend you after the 3rd year anyways. Well, fine. So we don't have to worry about the lack of 5th year. But that's what I would do if I was Caleb Williams. I want a 4-year deal. I mean, go check. It's the difference between, it's like, it could be like $25 million difference. Something like that. I mean, do you want to see this? I mean, what is, so let's see Tua's contract. Let's see, right? Because they picked up the 5th year, right? Let's see. Okay, here you go. Tua Tagovailoa is scheduled to play 2024 season on his 5th-year option. Miami used its option rookie contract last offseason to keep him out of free agency this year, but it came with a guaranteed salary of $23 million. Okay. 2024 QB franchise tag. What do we think that is? $38 million. So not as much as I thought, but more than 50%, right? $12.5 million. Yeah. So more than 50% increase. I thought it'd be more. I thought it would be more, but still 38 is more than 23. And who knows what it's going to be when Caleb Williams gets there. I guess same thing. It's easier to do it. He could be making 25 in his 5th year instead as a franchise tag, make 40. That's a big difference. So again, I don't know if you can do that. It feels like it's always with the team, but that would be the one thing I would say. I don't want the 5th year if I was Caleb Williams. No, I'm not sure if you can do that. All right, it is episode number 10 of the Schultz-cast. Let's talk Raging Cajuns baseball. They're taking on ULM. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. We get much more viewers on the Twitterverse. People are still picking it up on YouTube. But anything you can do to like and share it on Facebook is a big help. We are over 100 subscribers, so that is cool. I'm off to, if you missed it, I've been talking about this all week. I'm going to Mississippi for a bourbon allocation thing, which is a little bit strange, I know, but it is a thing. And I'll be back. I thought I was going to be back for maybe post game on Saturday, but I don't think I'm going to be back. They're doing 5 hourly drawings starting at 10. I thought it was 3 hourly drawings, so I'd be back by like 4 or 4:30. But 5 hourly drawings, I may not be leaving until 3 or 3:30. So it's going to be a little bit of a long day, but a fun. It's not that far of a ride, but it is. It's going to be later than I thought. So we'll listen. Games are not being streamed Friday or Saturday. Cajuns only have the capability of streaming one sport at a time. They didn't realize they're going to be on a 12-game winning streak at this point in time. Plus, they're doing softball, and it does cost them a lot of money to do both. They have broadcasted both. Our buddy Jeff Schneider had brought his production crew in, so it does cost a little bit of money to broadcast both. So that's why they're not doing that. So we'll just listen on the phone Friday and Saturday. All right, get at least half the game coming back from Mississippi. But they let's see where they were. Let's see where LSU or the Cajuns were following last night's action. 47. So they're back to where they were after they won on Tuesday or maybe yesterday. They went back down to 48 and then everything settled down. I looked after LSU won. I don't think that has any effect on the Cajuns, but they went down to 48 and then they're back up to 47. And it's always fun doing this predicted results thing. Now he's got him. Unreal. This is the best. This is the best yet. 45-11. He's got him at an RPI of 23. Can you imagine if they go 26-4 in the Sun Belt, 45-11, lose 3 games after conference play started and get an RPI of 23 and not hosting? That would be bad. Let's see how long he's got this winning streak going for. He has him beating ULM, sweeping ULM, Prairie View, but he has him losing to La Tech on Wednesday. Ouch. Sweeping Marshall, beating Southeastern twice, taking 2 out of 3 from Coastal, losing 2 out of 3 to Troy. Is that right? That's not right. Hold on a second. Yeah, hold on. 45-11. They already have 8 losses. So if La Tech is 1, Coastal Carolina is 2, Troy is 3-4, and Georgia Southern is 5. So that's the predicted results are not matching. The predicted records is not matching the predicted results. Very odd. Okay, something's a little glitchy in the website. But nonetheless, you do have Herman and Langevin going tonight. Again, it would be better if you can get Andrew Herman to 7 innings. Langevin can only pitch 2, and then you have him to come back on Sunday. I would think anything more than 30 pitches, you can't bring in Langevin. Whatever the case was, he was not nearly as sharp last Saturday against Texas State after pitching, I guess, like 45 pitches in 3 1/3 innings, which is not a lot of pitches, right? It's not the amount of outs, it's the amount of pitches. So if he pitches 30 pitches in 2 innings, let's see if he can come back. That's what you want to see. Also, Carson Fluno is expected to pitch on Sunday. That was put out, so we'll see how that goes. What can Jack Martinez do? He pitched well last midweek, pitched okay this midweek, did not pitch well last weekend. So let's see. He'll be on the same rest. He has 3 days rest. He's not pitching tonight, but he usually comes in after Chase Morgan, on the Saturday. How far can Chase go? You have Holzhammer and you still have Murphy Brooks. You have JT Etheridge. They're supposed to get another righty back. I don't know how you're going to get him in. But they need to get, Marshall going. They need to get Moody going. And you gotta keep on winning, because it would be a shame. You want to see an RPI drop. ULM is coming in with the RPI of 171. Yeesh. You can't lose. Although I guess Coastal's didn't drop too much, right? Coastal took 2 out of 3. And I don't think they dropped all that much. But Coastal has a much more difficult schedule than the Cajuns. Even at 45-11, the Cajuns' out-of-conference schedule is 130, and that was done intentionally. There was James Madison. Was it James Madison? Check that out. Why James Madison has such a great RPI in the 31, and they're 16-12. They played Arkansas, beat them one time. So they lost to Arkansas 3 times, but beat them once. But now you're playing one of the top teams in the country. And you did beat Virginia Tech. They got an RPI of 24. Other than that, they don't have very good RPI. They lost to Coastal Carolina 2 out of 3. They did play Maryland. All right, so you got somebody else. So Maryland, Coastal Carolina. Maryland's 30. Coastal Carolina's 22. Virginia Tech's 24, and Arkansas is 3. Let's compare that with the Cajuns. So Coastal and Arkansas are the only series. The Cajuns, here's the problem. Wright State's 172. You lost to them. Rice is 206. You lost 2 to them. That's what's crushing them right now. You do have Vanderbilt and LSU. So Vandy's 23 and LSU's 34, but you lost to Houston and they're 71. Like, Houston's not very good, and you lost to Houston. And then you just don't have anybody else right now. Northwestern State, 177. Tulane, 128. La Tech is 73. They're 23-8. Wow. All right. They're coming up again. Old Dominion isn't awful. They're 63. Texas State's 97. Nichols is 95. This is who you're playing coming up if you're the Cajuns. ULM 171. Prairie View A&M 270. La Tech is 73 as of right now. We mentioned that. Marshall 190. Southeastern's 130. Right? There's not even a good win in those ball games until you get to Coastal, and that's in a couple weeks, and they're 22. Then maybe, then you get Houston Christian 215. Southern Miss right now is 57. Even Troy's 102. Jackson State's 247. Georgia Southern's top 50. That'll help. And we'll see where South Alabama is. They are at 66. So again, it's the same old, same old. I know I'm kind of reiterating what the Cajuns schedule issues are, but they don't go away. They don't go away. All right, let's see what else we can talk about here. Final Four. I don't think I put that in the rundown. I am going to pick, let's see. I'm going to pick UConn and Purdue. I don't think that UConn is fait accompli. All right. Someone did a breakdown of, UConn playing against Alabama style, and they haven't really played anybody like Alabama style, but people that are close to them, and they've struggled. Don't think that Alabama can't get hot and hit somewhere between, 13 and 18 threes, and that'll keep them in any game. As Nate Oates said, we just have to limit their runs. If they go on a run, it just can't be 30-0. I will give it up to Danny Hurley. He's not blaming the, travel, because it was a couple of days ago, right? I'm not sure I agree with all the travel deals. I would have, left on Thursday morning after a good night's sleep, good dinner, maybe an early morning workout. All right. And then they can sleep on the plane and take care of their media obligations on Thursday. Danny Hurley took care of everything. And the players went back to sleep, and that's fine. But no, he's like, no, we're lucky to be here. It was yesterday, and it's not like they were playing yesterday or they're even playing today. They're not playing until tomorrow, and they're not even playing until late tomorrow night. They'll be fine. So good job by Danny Hurley not to make that an issue. Nate Oates had some fun with it. I do think that UConn will win, but I do think it'll be a game. What's the line? Anybody see the line? I'd be interested to know what the line is. I think Alabama. I'm going to say this before I know what the line is. I'm going to say Alabama's going to cover. Let's see here. I don't know what the line is. 8 or 9? Is it going to be 8 or 9? 11.5. I'm definitely taking Alabama to cover. I'm taking Alabama to cover. Purdue is 9.5. I would take NC State to cover, actually, in that one. I think NC State will cover. I got the favorites winning, but the underdogs covering. All right. Also, you have the women's Final Four. That's tonight. I don't even know who's playing who in that one. Let's see here. You got South Carolina and NC State, and Iowa and UConn. All right, so you got a great Paige Beckers against Caitlin Clark. That's outstanding. But as much as everybody around here was looking forward to that Iowa LSU matchup, if you get Iowa South Carolina, I mean, that's kind of where all this started last year, is that Caitlin Clark and Iowa took down South Carolina. You know, South Carolina was probably the best team in the nation last year, and they didn't get their shot at LSU, or the other way around. So South Carolina was we want to either play Iowa or LSU. And so we'll see if they get a shot. Iowa, 2.5-point favorite. South Carolina, NC State, wow, I mean, you know, kind of like a Syracuse run from a couple of years ago, both teams getting in. And UConn this year, obviously. So it's an interesting Final Four. It's going to be, I think it's going to be South Carolina and Iowa. Wouldn't be surprised if UConn wins. So that is the Final Four. Anything else going on here? We're going to hop on the exercise bike. Ooh. Let's see where else I had some other content here. We do have a couple of other things. All right. Hailey Van Lith went into the transfer portal. I don't know if she's going back to Louisville. I doubt it. I'm not sure if Kim Mulkey rubbed her the wrong way. But she was out of position. Kim Mulkey gave her a lot of credit for that. You know, went and took a different position. The ball was not necessarily in her hands as much as she wanted it to be, and kind of, or maybe the other way. Maybe she's not as big a scorer as she was, deferring to others at LSU. So she's looking for something different. Monica McNutt on ESPN suggested that Angel Reese come back. Like, she's basically saying, I'm not basically saying, she was kind of saying, not kind of, she was saying Angel Reese right now is a tweener. People are saying that she should come back for the money. Monica was not like that. She's like, no, she needs to come back and get better, because she's not playing center in the WNBA. And I'm not sure she can cover the three or has the handle to be a three. Like, she needs to come back and develop an outside shot and better ball handling skills. Like, she's saying she's like a 3.5 or maybe a 4.5, maybe 3.5. So she was basically saying she's a tweener and she wants her to come back and work on her game. Now, obviously that's not going to happen. And certainly a boss move to, declare for the pros in Vogue magazine. That's pretty cool. So it wasn't about the money for Monica McNutt. It was for her game to improve. She's not going to be able to handle the centers down low, either offensively or defensively. And she can't handle a wing, and she can't play out on the wing. Not yet. So she was thinking maybe she should come back to improve her game, but obviously that's not going to happen. Also, what's apparently not going to happen is that Jeff Landry, the governor here in Louisiana, is going to shut his trap. He's all in, right? He can't get past the whole national anthem thing. He still thinks it's, I don't even know what year it was. Was that 2018? I guess I was still here when it happened. Was it even 2019? I mean, 2018 season? 2018 season. So he still thinks it's that, and it's not. Not to mention, there was no protest. But he's just all, tunnel vision. Claimed he wrote a letter. The schools did not get the letter. So I don't know if he's lying. He's going to, as conservative outlets as you can get, which in the state of Louisiana is a thing. But okay, not necessarily going to conservative outlets in Louisiana, but other conservative outlets, as if he's standing up for something. And I can ask him some simple questions. You didn't have any problem with the LSU football team not coming out for the national anthem. Why are we doing this now? Right. And again, don't make any mistake about it. The people who wanted this out there and put it out there like this absolutely wanted to be a racial thing. They wanted to be a racial and political thing. That's absolutely why they did it, because they didn't do it for UConn and USC. But Iowa's standing out there, arm in arm, hand in hand, and there's nowhere for LSU to be found. So the people who put it out there absolutely wanted it to be political and racial when it's not. But that doesn't stop people from getting it in the ether and on, and here's the other thing. What is Jeff Landry hoping to accomplish? I mean, he just started, right? It's not like he's running for anything now. I mean, I guess you're always running as a politician, but things I've learned watching politics, it doesn't really matter what you're doing until you need to run for a re-election. Until there's an election, it doesn't really matter. And the fastest way to not get reelected is watch an LSU football player leave, a prominent one, whatever it might be, to go to a different school. All right. That's the fastest way for him not to get reelected. Or, God forbid, Mikey Matuk actually put this out there. I didn't even think of this. Mikey Matuk put it out there that careful what you wish for, Jeff, because Tennessee is open right now. And maybe Kim Mulkey decides, I don't need all of this here. Not that Tennessee is much different, but I'm going to take the Tennessee job. You want to see someone lose an election, although it's in 4 years, because Kim Mulkey went to Tennessee and wins a couple championships over Tennessee, and LSU is back to whatever they were before Kim Mulkey. You think someone's going to get the blame for that? It's going to be one person. Good luck winning that champion. Good luck winning that election. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard for a Republican not to win an election in the state of Louisiana. That would be one way for Jeff Landry to lose it. Chase the championship winning coach away from the state of Louisiana. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's not too bright by Jeff Landry. The people you're scoring points with are already voting for you. I don't know what you're doing. All right, but you're going to chase people away from voting for you because you're going to chase people away from LSU, which is sad but true, and it's not the only place, but LSU sports is much more important to people than you being governor, I guess is the way to put that. All right, that will wrap it up. Should still be a good sports weekend. You know what? I didn't even check the weather. I kind of just go day by day. What is the weather supposed to be like here? Let's check it here in Lafayette. It was a little cool yesterday. It's a little, as the judge would say, a little cool and shul today, 56, but it's supposed to be very nice. I presume it's going to be that way for the weekend. It appears that way. No real rain in the forecast until Monday. That's good. What's it going to be? I guess just as important to me. What's it going to be for my bourbon excursion in Jackson, Mississippi? A little cooler there, 46. Only getting into 70s. Goodness gracious. Hourly forecast. Oh, I got to dress a little warm for it's only going to be in the 56 tomorrow. Gets in 78, but it's supposed to be sunny. That's really all that matters. So can easily dress and bring layers. I don't think I have to bring gloves, but it's going to be interesting. And it is an odd, expensive hobby. I have way too many bottles of bourbon. I don't really need any more. But this seems like a good time, and we'll be safe. I'll not drink and drive. If I have too much to drink, I will take an Uber. I'm not risking that, that's for sure. And we'll eat hopefully plenty on the way. I still am down 14 pounds. I'm going to hop on the bike here, weighed in at under 216 this morning. And so we'll see what it is post workout. All right. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be back for the Cajuns game on Sunday. And I will, what the part of the work that I'm doing before I take off to Mississippi, I'm going to email all of the SIDs for Locked On Sunbelt and get see if we can line up some football coach interviews. So we will do that. That doesn't take very long. I can't imagine it's even take a half an hour, but we will get that done this morning post, workout and shower. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. Actually going a little bit long. Appreciate it. Please subscribe over on YouTube. It's a big help. Like and share it on Facebook and on YouTube. Have a great week. We're 2 weeks into this, and I already got 100 subscribers, so really do appreciate it. This is the Schultze Cast, Acadiana's sports show.